Today, we're going to start a new chapter in our Jazz Improvisation Workbook, Volume 2, focusing on Wynton Kelly's lines in a medium swing context. In Chapter 1, we explored his blues improvisation style. But Wynton Kelly goes way beyond the blues style and uses a completely different approach when improvising over a more jazz-oriented tune. This is going to be a much longer line, 8 measures long, and a more intricate chord progression with lots of 2/5s. Here's today's line. This progression is in the key of F major, and one of Wynton Kelly's key approaches is his ability to internalize guide tone lines. These are always present in his playing, no matter what the original progression suggests. Remember, a guide tone line is a line created by the guide tones using smooth voice leading. For example, in a D minor 7 to G7 to C6 progression, there are 2 guide tone lines, F, F, E, and C, B, A. The first technique that Kelly uses frequently is reinterpreting the 6 minor 7 as the 2 minor 7 of 5. The 6 minor 7 chord, D minor 7, can be seen as the 2 minor 7 of 5, since D minor 7 is the 2 chord of C, which is the 5 chord in F major. And a 2 chord is often accompanied by its related 5. This creates the guide tone line C to B. Similarly, the G minor 7 chord is often followed by C7, creating the guide tone line F to E. Another key harmonic element is the line cliché on minor chords. For instance, D minor can progress to D minor major 7, then to D minor 7, and eventually resolve to B, turning it into G7. This cascading motion adds depth and harmonic movement to the progression. Also, Kelly often pairs the 5 of 5 with the Lydian flat 7 scale, transforming it into a G7 sharp 11 in our case. In this key, that adds a C sharp, the sharp 11, as an available tension. This concept also ties directly to the line cliché on the D minor and its related 5 chord, G7. In essence, the 6 minor 7 often transitions into a 2/5 of 5, opening up new tensions and notes for improvisation. Kelly also simplifies a 2/5 into just the 5 chord. For example, instead of thinking of E minor 7 flat 5 to A7 flat 9, he often treats it as just an A7. So what about Kelly's left-hand voicings and comping patterns? The left-hand voicings for this line follow the same principles we've covered, but there's a crucial new detail. The inner notes often trace the guide tone lines that we discussed earlier in the harmonic considerations. In measure 2, notice how the C note in the D minor 7 chord transitions to B natural and then to B flat. This progression creates a chordal voicing, F, B flat, and E. While this is an unconventional voicing for G minor 7, as it includes the 13th, Kelly uses it effectively despite the tension from the tritone, which hints at the 5 chord. You can also see how the inner notes of Kelly's 4-note voicings form tight clusters. Another key aspect is Kelly's rhythmic approach. He often places his left-hand voicings on the and of 2 and on the and of 4, anticipating the next chord in the progression. So now let's talk about the line. Wynton Kelly uses 3 rhythmic grid levels in his improvisation: swinging 8th notes, triplets, and 16th note runs. Kelly also often uses triplets to outline triads. While there's only one instance of this technique in this current example, it will appear more prominently in the lines that we'll explore later. And in his 16th note passages, Kelly traces chord shapes while incorporating neighboring tones and ladder techniques. To fully grasp this concept, I suggest practicing the following exercise. And remember to practice it in as many different keys as possible. Also, try creating your own runs using these concepts over different chord progressions. By doing this, you'll not only internalize Kelly's approach, but also develop your own voice using his techniques as a foundation. So now it's about time to practice with the call and response backing tracks. There's a slow and a fast version this time around. All of our members will receive a PDF with today's lesson, or you can get it on mdex.com, link in the description down below. Remember that if you own the book, you should also use the worksheets for this line to write your own solo and practice with the solo backing track. Here are the call and response backing tracks for today's Wynton Kelly line.